water and minerals in plants. Okay. So, absorption of water and minerals in plants. And all of you know that the absorption of water and minerals are doing by roots in a plant. Okay. So, what is the function of roots in plants? Our first function is that fix the plant in the soil. Okay. All of you know that a plant has got two parts. We can call it as shoot system and root system. Okay. Above the ground, the part of the plant that we are calling it as shoot system, and below the ground we are calling it as a root system. Okay. So what is the function of a root or root system? Our first function is that fix the plant in the soil. Okay. All of you know that plants are not changing its place. It is a fixed place it has got. Okay. So the first function of the root is fix the plant in the soil, and the second function is that absorption of water and minerals. Okay. All of you know that how the plants are absorbing water from the soil. It is absorbing by means of roots. Okay. Is it clear? So these are the two functions of roots. And before going to the details of the absorption of water by roots, we should know what is osmosis and diffusion. Okay. So firstly, that we are going to look at what is osmosis. So what is osmosis? Osmosis can be defined as the movement of molecules from its higher concentration to the lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. Okay, so what is osmosis? The movement of molecules from high concentration to low concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. For example, if there is more water molecules and this side less water molecules are there, what will happen? Here it is high. Okay, the number of the water molecules are high here. Here it is low. Okay, so what will happen? The water molecules will start to move from this region to this region, and if the process is taking place through a semi-permeable membrane, we are calling this process as osmosis. Okay, so the movement of molecules from high concentration to the lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane is known as osmosis. By the way, what is a semi-permeable membrane? Semi-permeable membrane means it's a particular kind of membrane which is not allowing all particles to pass through. Okay, it will not allow all molecules to pass through. It has got a selection. Only certain materials can pass through the semi-permeable membrane. Our plasma membrane, that cell membrane, is a semi-permeable membrane. Okay, so even though if there is no semi-permeable membrane also, the movement of molecules will be like this only. The movement of molecules will be always from its high concentration to lower concentration. Here also the movement will be from the higher concentration to lower concentration. What is the difference? There is no semi-permeable membrane here. Okay. This time we are calling this process as diffusion. Okay. So what is the difference? Osmosis means the movement of molecules from high concentration to low concentration through a semi-permeable membrane, and diffusion means the movement of molecules from high concentration to low concentration in the absence of a semi-permeable membrane. Okay, hope it's clear for you. Now we are going to look into the details of absorption of water. Okay, so as I have told you before, what is the structure which is absorbing water in plants? Roots. Firstly, that we have to look at what is the structure of a root in general. Okay. So if you are pulling out one plant from the soil, you can see that a plant has got so many branches of roots. Okay, this is a single root and we can call it as the main branch of the root. Okay, this is the main branch of the root, and this branch has got so many lateral, or the main root has got so many lateral branches. Okay, the main root, this is the main root and it has got so many lateral branches. What is the use of this? See, suppose if it has only one root, only this much area is present to absorb the water. Okay. So, how much lateral roots are there, that is increasing the surface area to the root to absorb water. Okay. More water it can absorb by the help of the lateral roots. Understood? So, main root will be there, and with the main root there are so many lateral branches also will be there generally in plants. Okay. And another thing, now we are going to more close to the structure of the root. Now, if you are cutting one piece of the root and if you are observing under a microscope, we can see that a single piece of the root, okay, it has got a cell layer, okay, a tissue layer will be there, a single layer will be there like this, okay. Okay, a single layer of tissue will be there like this, okay, and we are calling it as epidermis. What we are calling it as? Epidermis. Epidermis, okay. In our body also, to protect, we have got skin like that, and plant also there is epidermis to protect the entire plant body. So of course, on the root also one single layer of epidermis will be there, okay. So this epidermal cell has got a speciality in root. What is that? The epidermal cell will make an extension in the root. Means single epidermis will be like this, okay? And these epidermal cells are making extensions like this on the root, okay? On the root it is making extensions like this, okay? So we are calling it as root hairs, okay? So what is root hair? Root hair means nothing but the extension of the epidermal cell of the root, okay? So what is epidermis? Epidermis means the outer covering of the root is known as epidermis. It is a single layer one, okay? Each and every cell in the epidermis is making extensions like this, and we are calling these extensions as root hair, okay? So how much root hairs are there, that much absorption of water is possible, okay? So another speciality of the root hair is that it is very, very delicate, means it is not that much strong, okay? It is very soft and it is unicellular. As we know that a single epidermal cell is making that extension, so that it is unicellular, a single cell will be there, and it is delicate also. Because of that, it should be replaced daily, okay? Why? Because it is unicellular and delicate, so that it is very easy to get damage to that cell, okay? So root hairs are the extension of epidermal cells, and they are single cellular and they are delicate also. Because of that, of course, it is getting easily damaged. So that on daily basis, roots are making new epidermal cells or new root hairs. Understood? Okay, now we can look how the process of absorption of water is taking place in the root. Okay, so now you know that root is there, and covering cells, what we are calling it as? Epidermis. Otherwise, we can call it as the extension of the epidermis. We are calling it as what? Root hairs. Okay. So I am not going to draw the entire structure of the root, but only one epidermal cell or the root hair, and the other parts I will draw. It will be more easy to understand. Okay. Here, just making one root. Only one epidermal cell or the root hair I am making over here. So you have to imagine that all these layers has got what? Root hairs, but I am only making one here. Okay, one epidermal cell is here, and inner to that the root cells will be there. We can call it as the cells in the cortex. Okay, cortex. Within the root, there are many inner cells will be there. It is not an epidermis, inner cell of the root. Okay. Now you know that where the root will be naturally, it will be in the soil. Okay, it will be in the soil. and naturally all time the water molecules in the root will be low. Okay, it is naturally set like that. The water molecules in the root will be always low compared to the soil. And I will tell you the reason when I am taking the topic transpiration. The explanation is there how it is possible always root has got less water molecule. Okay. So now as I have told you, water molecules are less in roots. Okay. When compared to soil. So I am just making this kind of dots over here. You have to imagine that all these are what? Water molecules. Okay. All these are water molecules. And inside the epidermal cell, I am just making two water molecules only. So where the high concentration of water now? Within the soil, definitely. Okay. So what is going to happen? We know that what is osmosis? It is a movement of molecules from high concentration to low concentration. So what is really happening here? From the high concentration means from the soil, the water molecules will start to get into the cell. Okay, so it will start to get into the epidermal cell and it will get filled with water. Okay, now this cell is filled with water. So what is the condition to the next cell? When compared to the epidermal cell, this cell has got enough water molecules inside, but in second cell, this cell is not having this much water. Okay, so what will happen? These water molecules will start to flow into the second cell. Okay, and finally it will get filled with water, and then the water molecules will start to move from this cell to the next. Like that it is moving, and finally it will reach in the xylem. Okay, xylem, you know what is xylem? This is the vascular tissue which is conducting water and minerals that we have already seen in the previous class. This is how the absorption of water is taking place in the root. Okay, so soil has got much more water molecules when compared to the root cells, so that naturally the water molecules will start to flow into the root cells. The first cell will get filled, then water molecules will start to move into the next, then to next, like that. Finally it will reach in the xylem. Okay, this is a process of absorption of water. And which process was this? It was osmosis. Okay, so if there is a single question, which process is supporting, or name the process by which water is absorbing in plants. Which process is that? Osmosis. Understand? And now we are going to look at how the minerals are absorbing by roots. We have seen this is osmosis. And see, here there is a big difference in the absorption of minerals. Okay, what is that? See, here epidermal cell will be there, isn't it? Epidermal cell will be there, otherwise root hair will be there. This is soil, and when compared to soil, the root hairs has got much more minerals inside. Okay, so root cells, not only root hair, but root cells are having much more minerals inside when compared to soil. So the low concentration of minerals will be usually in soil. Soil is not having that much mineral molecules when compared to the root. Okay, so this natural process is not going to be takes place. I mean, it is not going to flow as water. Okay, so still this root need what? Minerals also. Inside the root, high concentration of minerals are there. Okay, still it need more minerals. Okay, so how will it absorb them? It is absorbing the minerals by using energy. Okay, inside the root much more minerals are there, still it is absorbing by exerting energy or by using energy, and that process is known as active transport. Okay, active transport. So what is the process by which the minerals are get absorbed by roots? That is active transport. So what is active transport means? The absorption of the molecules from its low concentration to high concentration by using energy. Okay, this is what the root has done now. Okay, the soil has got low concentration of minerals. Still it absorbs the minerals by using energy. So that process is known as active transport. Okay, so water is absorbing by osmosis and minerals are absorbing by active transport, and in some cases diffusion also supporting the absorption of minerals, but it is very rare. If there is a kind of soil which has got much more mineral content in that, okay, naturally the soil is not having that much minerals, okay, when compared to the root, but in some kinds of soils are there which has got unusual concentration of minerals in that, and that condition simple diffusion also can be support the absorption of minerals. Okay, so in today's class we have seen that the process of absorption of water and minerals, and you have to familiar with the function of the roots. It is fixing the plant in the soil, and it is supporting, or it is doing the absorption of water and minerals. And you should know what is osmosis. What is osmosis? The movement of molecules from its high concentration to low concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. And if there is no semi-permeable membrane, that process is known as what? Diffusion. Okay. And what is root hair? Root hair means extension of epidermal cell is known as epidermal cell of the root is known as root hair, and it is helping to increase the surface area, and it is finally supporting the absorption of water also. And what is the speciality? It is a unicellular one. Root hair, it's a unicellular one, and it is very delicate also, so that easily getting damaged. So on daily basis the root hairs are replacing on the root. Okay, and osmosis is a process by which water is getting absorbed by the root. Here the water concentration will be high in the soil when compared to the root, so that naturally the movement of water from the soil to the root will happen, and this is a process of osmosis. And here minerals will be less in concentration in soil, it will be high in root, still it is absorbing by using energy, and that process is known as active transport. Okay, hope all of you understand all these concepts, and the next class we are going to look at transpiration. Thank you.